In a world full of gorgeous people and even more gorgeous influencers on your Instagram feed, I can imagine that it's easy to compare yourself to them and feeling that somehow you're not attractive enough, you are not good enough. And in other videos I've talked at length how a measure of attractiveness with the beauty standards is impossible to reach, so even the most beautiful people feel very self-conscious about their looks. Today I want to talk more about how the general measure of attractiveness does not exist. And if you really want to look at the word attractive, you should actually deconstruct it and realize that you are way more gorgeous than you think you are. And of course, it's naive for me to say that beauty standards don't exist, so there's a more or less generally accepted definition of what is considered beautiful that differs among cultures. So some people and some cultures might find you to be quite attractive, while people in your current culture think you are like a troll. I know I have to get this out of the way. I might not be the designated person to talk about being attractive, especially not looking like this, but I wanted to get into it mostly to give you a bit of perspective. Just like we talked about with confidence, how you're way more than you already are, you have to find your attractiveness in this video. Before you start changing yourself in order to appeal to someone else's eyes, I want you to just go back to yourself, center, and realize how beautiful you already are. And so any improvement that you are going to make is for yourself and will enhance the features that you already have, instead of trying to cut away at the beautiful parts that you think other people will find hideous. And I know that you're already very attractive to me because you're all gorgeous people for liking and subscribing to the videos. And if you haven't, please like and subscribe to the videos so that we can spread the message. So let's start with the basics, the definition. Attracting something is that you draw something to you or someone to you for whatever reason by some appeal. So because the definition talks about for whatever reason, it means that the appeal is in the eyes of the beholder. You are very attractive to your butcher if you keep buying meat from his place. And therefore, even the most conventionally attractive people will not have everyone hurrying to be around them and with them, because they might not be appealing to everyone. Everyone will face rejection. Every single person has their very particular likes and dislikes. They might like you being tall or short, and of course they are going to be influenced by beauty standards. So for men are generally more attractive to women if they are tall. But of course there are going to be short kings that are in demand, not only for other qualities like being ripped or being very funny, but also that some women are just going to be into short men. And so you should rest easy knowing that you're going to be more appealing to some people and less appealing to other people. The idea of becoming more attractive then is not possible to everyone. What you're doing is not actually trying to 100% this game and be 100% successful with everyone. What you're trying to do is display qualities or develop qualities that are considered to be more attractive because of beauty standards, for example, or generally accepted things that are better for people, like being hygienic or being charismatic or funny. Those things make you cast a wider net so you can catch more fish. But there's a huge danger here that I really want to warn you about, and you shouldn't be doing, because the danger is that if you know that being attractive means that you are both liked by as much people as possible and the least disliked, then to optimize being as attractive as possible, you're going to be as likable as you can, but also remove things from yourself that you fear other people will dislike. Think about your quirky hobbies, the weird sounds you make when you laugh, so you are more controlled when you laugh. Or you stop voicing your strong opinions because you're afraid that it might be too controversial. And then you get a very sanitized version of who you are, something celebrities have to do every time, because they are afraid, for example with their politics, that it will be so controversial that part of their audience will tune out. And understandably, this has been a huge challenge, also for me, because I've always feared that voicing my needs and making known my boundaries, well, even finding boundaries to begin with in my case, was a bad thing, because people would not stick around. They'd realize that I'd be too much effort and just walk away. And so I still have to learn that even though life sucks sometimes and people do ghost you unnecessarily, there is a need for you still to set boundaries and not try to remove that part of yourself in order to appease other people. And paradoxically, you're going to actually be more attractive doing that, but I'll just have to find that out someday. So don't be like me in this case. Learn my lesson. Do not go around being as attractive as possible and improving yourself to be as attractive to other people. Improve yourself because you want to be better, enhancing the parts that you like about yourself and not trying to cut away the parts you fear other people might not like. And when you do that, you're going to enhance the parts that are already very likable about you and even the things you don't think are very likable to you. Becoming more the best version of yourself at any given day will allow your light to shine so much brighter that other people will be able to see in the dark. It sounds very corny, but it essentially in this case means that the people worth having your attention will be able to find you in the darkness and stick around. But this is why I want to have the video. I want to show how attractive you already are. And to do so, let's have a little experiment. Any experiment needs us to define the terms that we're using so we can actually test something. And in this case, we're defining attractiveness in a way that I think is most useful to just demonstrate it. But you can disagree with it. That happens. It's never as simple as being right or wrong on a definition anyway. So imagine the experiment. We're trying to test the statement that I, Lorenzo, am an attractive guy. I know, quite funny. In order to do so, let's define attractive as being hit on, or at least people showing overt interest in you, at least 3 times when you expose yourself, like going out or going on a dating app. And we can say a week's period to just make sure that people usually go out once a week, I would hope, otherwise check your liver. Or a week's time on a dating app is a very similar way of looking at it. So I've tried this experiment a few times, being on Tinder and Bumble and even Hinge for a little while, and that did not bore any fruit. I did not get much of any likes, at least not enough to satisfy the experiment. So you would think case closed. There's no evidence that supports my theory that I'm an attractive guy. Quite sad. But of course the going out part I'm never doing. I've never gone clubbing before and I might never before I die because I'm an old lady at heart. Still, let's do something very scientifically unethical and we're going to retroactively tweak the parameters of our experiment in order to get different results. Because of course, you can imagine already that although this experiment in a particular week hasn't gotten me the 3 likes that I was trying to get to demonstrate to you that I was very attractive, there are a lot of factors that might have influenced my lack of success on the dating app, besides the fact that I have this to work with. So think with me, leave in the comments your other ideas, because there are many things that could have influenced my lack of success on the dating app. Perhaps my bio is boring, if people even read it. Maybe my pictures are bad. I don't have a picture holding a fish. I think that lots of people do that and I might have suffered not having one. Maybe the pictures that I have are ordered wrong. Or the right person hadn't been online during that week to swipe on me and get me that 3rd like that I needed to get. Maybe it's just the area that I'm in. Because perhaps people in my area find me to be quite average looking or below average looking, not enough for them to swipe right on me. It's the same phenomenon that you can hear that someone that is an 8 in another state might be a Florida 7, if that's generous. Because Florida generally have quite young people and geriatric people, but the young people around the beach areas being quite attractive and pulling up the average in attractiveness quite a lot. Same with Los Angeles probably. Having a beach scene with lots of celebrities and aspiring movie actresses moving there, it's going to crank up the average score of the people on the dating market. We're using scores here. And that might make sure that I am quite unremarkable to them. There's also very general things that just work into this, like gender norms, dating norms, beauty norms. The expectation that women do not often approach men first, even on Bumble, and so they could just leave their Instagram handle. There's lots of things that influence why I had very little success on the dating app, at least in the period that I tested. And if you know any more, please leave them down below, I'd love to hear it. So, case closed, right? Well, we're going to do the scientifically unethical thing and tweak the experiments a bit. Because we've got a lot of qualities to work with. Traditionally speaking, I am quite tall. I am 2 meters, which is 6'7". I'm also educated and have other qualities that I cannot possibly display in a bio quite well, or might not have showed in the bio quite well. And so limited information to work on. I'm also half Dutch and half Indonesian, and it's not that I'm saying that to dox myself. So if I were to tweak the experiment, in the Netherlands I might be quite unremarkable, or at least not enough to swipe on. But I would wager that if I were to go to Indonesia or use Tinder in Indonesia, my success rate would improve drastically. Their culture values different things than people in the Netherlands do, whether it be slightly or a lot. Their beauty standards are different. And so I'm going to be way more eye-catching and in demand, I would hope. Another example. What if I were to go to Comic-Con? I think beauty-wise I'd be relatively well off. I'm not saying that as an insult to all the amazing people going to Comic-Con. I'm just here trying to display my nerdy side. Don't come for my wig. I want to emphasize here that I can find evidence for or against the statement of being attractive depending on the factors that I'm going to introduce. If I were to go to LA, it might actually be a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, I am below average attractiveness when it comes to beauty standards there, but because of my height, I might still be quite eye-catching to lots of people and be different because their average person is going to look way more like a formula to them than silly old me. As you can see, if I don't feel attractive anywhere in particular, I can just tweak the circumstances and make me feel attractive in that context, being the tallest kid in kindergarten, so to speak. And that means you already are an amazingly attractive person, depending on the circumstances that you put yourself in. And so knowing that, there will definitely be people that will like the goods that you bring. And so it's more like a matter of finding those people, working on yourself, and playing to your strengths. All in all, not only am I trying to show you that there is no general measure of attractiveness that works to get everyone, it also means that the only thing that really matters is the circumstance. If you feel unattractive anywhere, just change the circumstance and you can feel attractive enough, which makes you more attractive. Just like that with attractiveness, I am going to be way more attractive to be a basketballer because of the qualities that I possess. I'm going to be way less attractive to be a bodybuilder looking like this. So, to be the most attractive, play to your strengths, know where you shine, and do not compare yourself to an imagined other that you think is better. The only person you can compare yourself to is yourself the day before, and that's why you're working on yourself. Very shortly, there are of course things that are general about attractiveness that lots of people like, and I would hope you start doing, and I'm going to speak about it in other videos as well. But a short rundown, things that are considered to be generally attractive for everyone is to be hygienic, to be kind, polite, a good listener, funny, and just being a good time to be around. These are all things that you can work on right now that have nothing to do with you losing the genetic lottery and going to improve your success and being attractive without losing the parts of yourself that are actually quite unique. So please, do me a favor. If you want to be the most attractive you can be, do not cut off the parts of yourself that you fear other people might not like. They're great. Just focus on gathering new interest, expanding the things that you like, and then you'll find the people on your path that like those things about you, and they will stick around. After all, because you cannot control what other people like and dislike, you cannot make other people find you to be attractive. So please, I guarantee you that there are people out there that will like what you have to offer. So as long as you keep working on yourself, keep being the best version you can be, then at some point people will find you and like for what you have to give, and even sometimes appreciate you for the things that you don't appreciate about you. That's the beauty of it. Another one. I hope you really like this one, so please like and subscribe like I said at the start of the video. It would really help me out and keep the motivation levels up. So we're going to revisit this topic probably many times. If you really liked it, just let me know. And share this video to those you think might need it. People that are down in the dumps, people that you could use a pick-me-up, because I've been there, and especially these kinds of videos would have helped me at the time as well. If there's nothing further, I hope you see you in the next one, you a gorgeous human being.